The Communist Manifesto, written by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels in 1848, is a political document that outlines the goals and principles of the communist movement. In it, Marx and Engels argue that capitalism, which they see as exploitative and oppressive, will eventually be overthrown by a communist revolution. They believe that the working class, or proletariat, will rise up against the ruling class, or bourgeoisie, and create a classless society in which the means of production are owned and controlled by the community as a whole. The Communist Manifesto begins with a preface written by Engels in which he explains the historical context in which the document was written. At the time, Europe was undergoing significant social and political changes, and there was a sense that a new era was beginning. The Industrial Revolution was in full swing, and capitalism was on the rise. Many people saw this as a positive development, but Marx and Engels saw it as a negative force that was causing widespread suffering and inequality. The main body of the Communist Manifesto is divided into 4 sections. In the first section, Marx and Engels outline their theory of history, which is based on the idea that all societies go through a series of stages of development. They argue that capitalism is the final stage of this process, and that it will eventually be replaced by communism. In the second section, they describe the ways in which capitalism is exploitative and oppressive. They argue that the bourgeoisie, or owners of the means of production, exploit the proletariat, or workers, by paying them low wages and extracting surplus value from their labor. They also argue that capitalism leads to the concentration of wealth and power in the hands of a few, and that it causes social and economic inequality. The third section of the Communist Manifesto discusses the role of the Communist Party in the revolutionary process. Marx and Engels argue that the Communist Party is the vanguard of the proletariat, and that it is responsible for leading the revolution and building the new socialist society. They also discuss the importance of international solidarity among the working class, and argue that the socialist revolution must be a global movement. Finally, in the fourth section, Marx and Engels outline their vision of a communist society. They argue that in communism, the means of production would be owned and controlled by the community as a whole, rather than by a small group of capitalists. They also argue that in communism, there would be no classes, no exploitation, and no state. Everyone would contribute to society according to their ability, and receive according to their need. In conclusion, the Communist Manifesto is a political document that advocates for the overthrow of capitalism and the creation of a classless, communist society. Marx and Engels argue that capitalism is exploitative and oppressive, and that it will eventually be replaced by communism through a global revolution led by the working class.